Secretary, it is more than safe to say that your achievements so far have been remarkable. It's a great honor for me to sit here across the table from you, and I'm still shaking actually. But I must ask this question. Where do you see yourself after your term as Secretary of State? Are you planning to run for president once again?
No, I am not. And I've had a fascinating and rewarding public career. I started as a young lawyer in an NGO called the Children's Defense Fund, where I advocated and represented in court abused and neglected children, children who weren't able to go to school because they were blind or deaf or paralyzed. So I started off as an advocate. And I started organizations. I chaired an organization called the Legal Services Corporation to provide attorneys for poor people so they could defend their rights in our courts. And of course, I practiced law. I was a law professor. I had the great privilege when my husband was governor of Arkansas, one of our poorest states, of leading a campaign to reform and improve our schools. And then when he was president, I was very active on a whole range of issues, including health care and what to do with children who were abandoned by their families or taken away from abusive families, and how to give them better family situations. And then I had 8 years as a senator, and now I'll start my 3rd year as Secretary of State next year. And I think I'll serve as Secretary of State as my last public position, and then probably go back to advocacy work, particularly on behalf of women and children, and particularly around the world, because if you look at what is still happening to women in many parts of the world, it is tragic and terrible. And the women here, as I look at you, who are educated and have the options and choices in your own lives, I feel very lucky because of my parents and then my education and the opportunities I've had. So I would like to continue working to improve lives for others as well.
Back to the floor.
There's Mohamed back there.
Yeah.
One more.
Yeah, one question from here. Yeah. Your name, please.
My name is Haya Rouai, and I was an alumni of University of Arkansas.
Oh my goodness. Hello.
Hello. My question is, Madam Secretary, is at 2000 you were elected the Senator of the State of New York, and previously you were the First Lady. So how was the transition from being the First Lady to a public office or serving?
That's a wonderful question. When were you at the University of Arkansas?
I graduated in 2006, and I had the honor of meeting Mr. Bill Clinton at Arkansas in 2006.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I enjoyed greatly both opportunities. Being the First Lady of the United States is not a job. There's no job description. You are in the position because your husband has been elected president, and your primary responsibility is to support your husband in the hardest job that one can imagine. I know the young lady back there who said the very nice thing about President Obama, but every president, if you watch what they look like when they came into office, you can see their hair turn white.
He looked younger.
I mean, because it's such a hard job. And so I spent a lot of my time doing things that my husband had asked me to do or recommended that would further his vision for our country. And I got to travel around the world, and I did a lot of work on behalf of women. I started an organization called Vital Voices, and I know there's at least one Vital Voice award winner here. Yes, there you are. And so then when I ran for the Senate, that's a very defined job. I mean, first of all, you have to get elected on your own. People have to decide they're going to vote for you, not because of who you're married to or where you're from, but because of what you stand for. And I was very honored to be elected. And then the job itself is a demanding one, which includes representing your constituents. And New York is a big state. It's not just New York City. It's also farmland and beautiful countryside. And so the jobs were very different, but I'm a lucky person. I'm very grateful and I'm very blessed that I've had these experiences. But I think that's an interesting point on a larger plane, because most of us will live longer than our parents, grandparents, great-grandparents. We will have a chance to do different things in our life. So what is the best way to be prepared? Well, obviously it starts in the home with what kind of upbringing you have, what kind of character, what kind of moral values you're given, and then your education, how well prepared you are to deal with new opportunities and new challenges. You know, it's not so much what life throws at you, it's how you respond, because every one of us has difficulties that we live through, and they can either knock you down and you don't get up, or they knock you down and you get up stronger. So for me, I've had a life that has been filled with all kinds of opportunities and my fair share of challenges, but I'm a very lucky person.
Thank you very much.
Excellent.
Secretary, I think
More
we're
questions?
running out of time.
Okay, here comes
Yeah.
Mohamed.
Yeah.
Mohamed, you're like the Oprah of Manama.
Sort
Look
of,
at you.
sort of, yeah.
I love it.
Okay.